My career path is not what I thought it would be. When I was 5 years old, I was in a serious car accident. And I told myself then that I would be a pediatrician. I was working towards that goal and took every science class I could get my hands on, loved science, loved everything about biology, got into college and went to the University of Pennsylvania. I went there because it had two components that I really needed. One was a fabulous medical school and a hospital right there on campus, which I figured I could use to do some internships. And the second thing was it had a full-size ice skating rink. And as a recently retired figure skater who wanted to earn money by coaching, those were two things I was looking for. When I got to Penn, I immediately found an opportunity to volunteer at the hospital in the geriatric ward and then also in the pediatric ward. And I found myself really getting frustrated because we could take care of the moment for a child or for a person who was struggling, but they were going back to a really difficult home environment often. In Philadelphia, there was so much need. I started to think about it from more of a social justice perspective. And so actually ended up doing an internship at the American Civil Liberties Union in Philadelphia, where I focused on access to public assistance and welfare for women in need, particularly single moms. And it was what I was meant to do. So went to law school immediately after graduating from Penn, literally 7 weeks after. And while I was in law school, did workers' rights clinics and worked with folks who needed somebody to assist them with a voice. I speak Spanish, I speak English. I know some Hebrew, but that's not terribly useful. But all of those helped me to be a voice for those in need. Moving forward, I had worked with the Special Olympics throughout my teenage years as a volunteer and had an opportunity to go and work at their international headquarters in Washington, D.C. right after graduating. Still in touch many, many years later with so many of the athletes who changed my perspective and changed my life. And continue that trajectory. I created a nonprofit called the Police Activities League in a city called Mountain View, where we were connecting cops and kids through shared passion points. And that's where I really saw the difference that sports could make, because the cops were no longer cops when they were on the tennis court or the soccer field or doing model race cars. They became their friends and their teammates and broke down those barriers for the kids. And so I decided after I had my daughter that I wanted to do that full time. And had the opportunity to go be the community relations director for the San Francisco 49ers in the National Football League, and worked my way up through the organization. Was there for 9 seasons and eventually became the vice president and executive director of community relations and the 49ers Foundation. And from there transitioned over to the Warriors.